wanted earlier on today, especially in the Widow battle. You've got to believe that you're the better Widow that will come out on top.
And winning the Widow battle is so important because, like we saw earlier, when you get the advantage in that Widow v Widow battle, the other team doesn't like to just kind of opt out to go on to the point. They have to like just wait a little bit for their own Widow to get back into the mix to put some pressure on the opponent. So it's very important to win that initial battle.
Okay, let's get out of the gates here. Map number 3. Seoul blazing a trail thus far. They haven't quite found El Dorado yet. They're well on the way. The black and the gold, of course. Big Goose and Shaz have not had a moment's respite from the scrutiny of Fleta. I mean, we can already think back to Shaz getting just domed time and time again, and now Big Goose looks like he's the object of his attention. Bunny will go in, though. That's not how you want to start the fight if you're the LA Gladiators at all.
Bunny gets in, takes one out, and darts out of the way. It's Kuki able to take out Remix there as well. So we haven't seen Fleta pick off Surefour just yet, but just creates just enough pressure where you do have the ability for Bunny to get into the back line.
Clean as a whistle thus far for Seoul. Again, an early pick from a Tracer or a Widow is going to do that for you. It's so funny how Seoul demonstrates these strategies that we talk about, right? But they show us them in the... Forget about it. Just forget about it. Bunny dropping down, hoping to interrupt Big Goose, but of course he's invulnerable through the duration of that period. Once the res comes out, once he's finished champion.
And I believe you had Bishu there also with the defense matrix eating up a ton of those bullets as well. So nice play by Bishu. You see Fleta here with the vision. Shaz has to get behind cover.
Oh, come on!
There's nothing
down. Get back up again, Fleta.
But there's nothing you can even do about it.
Oh, please! Enough! That's not allowed! This is completely decimated the Gladiators here. I know I'm yelling, but again, you really cannot fight against this kind of stuff. You're constantly playing at a man advantage. These shots are just unbelievable. Land Widow is just too much.
See Transcendence come out from both sides here. And now it'll be the Valkyrie that comes out from Toby, so you'll be able to keep everybody healed, also getting the reses.
Oh dear, Matt. Jaehong now just going to be battled around a bit. Remix had an opportunity, but once Jaehong managed to escape, he realized it'd be hard to get consistent damage with the flaming Fists of Fury. Remix manages to find him there. Brought back up again. Fleta playing off towards the side here. 75-0 though again, and LA Gladiators, a lot of those ultimates have already been drawn through. Asher falls. Fleta hitting the most improbable shots I think I've ever seen, and he's looking very comfortable.
Res though does come out from Big Goose here. It'll force Fleta to back up. Still looking for Asher. He's so aggressive here on the Widowmaker. It should be the LA Gladiators able to turn the point.
Okay.
All right, so they turn the point. Surefour able to get the better of Fleta there.
Credit to Surefour. Fleta makes a mistake and is punished for it. Gladiators are back in control, and perhaps now it's a bit more comfortable to be the Widow that's in control of the point as opposed to not being.
Yeah, and Jaehong will have Transcendence for this next fight. You'll have Pulse Bomb to open things up as well for Seoul Dynasty. Pretty much every ult there used by the LA Gladiators to flip the point in their favor. So I think you have two kind of paths to take this point back if you're Seoul. You can have Bunny land a big Pulse Bomb, then kind of dart on in, or you can go in, use that Transcendence. The Pulse Bomb used, we don't see it connect with anything.
Remix dropping back. Pressured down by Kuki. A bit of back and forth between these two. Remix is making sure Kuki's not going to sneak into his backline, and he still lets him in. And the Primal Rage as well is going to mean that Remix either has to use his own or look for another target and hope his backline can fend for itself. Surefour gets back to safety though. There was a Transcendence in play, if I'm not mistaken here. Shaz goes for that one. Then that allows the Gladiators to weather the storm. Kuki does drop, and Fleta finds Remix there. No surprise here. The Transcendence doesn't necessarily mean that Surefour can't get kills, but he needs to get headshots. Bishu now with the self-destruct, another thing that ignores that Transcendence. And Fleta's down, Surefour's found another one. Now we're starting to heat up that engine.
You have Toby getting close to a Valkyrie here. We'll see if he decides to use it for Seoul Dynasty as Remorse's kills going in favor of Seoul. There comes the Valkyrie. They're just trying to force the rest of the members from the LA Gladiators off the point. Bishu here trying to make anything happen with the Bunny Blasters. Not gonna work. Fleta will take out Remix. The first point here will go over to Seoul Dynasty.
Okay, that round, for what it's worth, didn't end anywhere near the way it started. I think we did see the Gladiators start to take a little bit more control. And once you control the point, especially as a Widowmaker team or a team that has a Widowmaker, you can use those pillars a little bit more. You have a few more options. You can throw a few more looks out. And we did see, of course, Surefour find a couple of those picks on towards Fleta, but again, it requires much more than that. And I have to say, Kuki getting in there. We saw the face-off between the two Winstons on that left edge before the end, and Remix just sort of lets Kuki in and goes, I'm going to reload or whatever. Kuki manages to get into the cookie jar, and he has them all for himself.
And you can see it a little bit there on Jaehong's screen. You will be playing the Mercy here because you can run Lucio on Lighthouse. Toby, a fantastic Lucio player, is one of the best in the world. So you'll have Jaehong play Mercy, Fledo will play the Pharah. You'll put Big Goose on the Lucio. Traditionally a Lucio player, so you'll have Shaz pick up Mercy responsibilities.
No Widow, so I'm going to at least keep my voice until the end of the day. That's nice. Fledo now dropping down again, looking for Big Goose here. He's going to be a little bit hard to catch. Making sure he knows where his Mercy is at all times as well, so he knows how aggressive he can be. If you're not being pocketed, you need to play a little bit more passive. But Bishu's getting bullied. He gets desuited as well. Fledo does that all on his own. But Bunny has dropped, so Fledo now the most of the damage source on his team. He really needs to make this work because Asher has done a very good job in paving the way for the Gladiators.
Yeah, you're gonna have both supports here fall for Seoul Dynasty, Bunny as well. So things looking pretty good for the Los Angeles Gladiators, which they're pretty fortunate. Oh, okay. It's not gonna be able to stay alive much longer.
Oh no.
Looks like Big Goose though should be able to stay along the side, right back up. But it's fortunate for the LA Gladiators because they lost both of their tanks really early in that fight, but they're able to turn it in their favor. I thought it was big plays from Asher.
You really did recover things for them there. Big Goose hangs around a little bit longer. Now we see a bit of play around the middle here. You can see Asher tries to throw the pulse bomb in, and Toby astutely steps away from his stuck Diva, making sure he doesn't cop any of that damage himself. Trying to maintain healing for Kuki, but again he gets picked off here. So the Winston battle looking a bit better for the Gladiators in this round. Kuki immediately res though. They need the presence of the Monkey, the Simian Sentinel as it were, for the Dynasty to try and allow them to get towards this point. It's in control of the Gladiators, but Toby has stepped on. Bishu down and desuited, and it's all about Seoul. They're in control, and Fleta finds the barrage to deal with Goose this time.
All the pressure from Seoul Dynasty though, as you see a boot there from Toby onto Shaz, knocking off the side. All the pressure from Seoul Dynasty towards that left-hand side allowed Fleta to move around the right-hand side by the point in the Lighthouse, able to get a ton of free damage down with Pharah using those rockets, and then as soon as they moved into the point, he was able to use that rocket barrage.
Okay, barrage now available for sure for though, Matt. Both support ultimates for Seoul Dynasty, only the sound barrier here for the Gladiators, and Bunny is a hunt. Again, his namesake would indicate he's often the subject of the hunt, but this time he's the aggressor again. Big Goose is pretty hard to catch. Just jumping away, Lucio being very, very slippery. He's at least forced him out of position for the time being. But Bunny now realizes that there's other people that are giving him their attention. He needs to respond. He's thinking about the health pack. He's going to dash in and get it. And Asher now on a 1v2 has to back up. Interesting little back and forth here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, Jaehong had used his Valkyrie really early in the fight, darts all the way back across the map to bring Toby back in. He's going to use the sound barrier here, but he only connects with 3 members from the Seoul Dynasty. Jaehong will go off the side. Toby will fall. The point looks like it should go back to the LA Gladiators.
Bishu finding Cookie. Bunny, honestly, we watched him the entire fight, but he's kind of just been spraying damage, not able to get in and finish those targets. He's definitely respecting the lethality of a lot of the LA Gladiators heroes, but not being able to get in properly and get out safely, frustrating. Seoul need him to be finishing those kills on the ground to capitalize on Fleta's damage from above.
Yeah, that's kind of the relationship between your Pharah and Tracer player. The Pharah up in the sky, she's putting down a ton of damage. The Tracer darts around the map, finishes those kills off. So you see no support ultimates online. It's only Surefour's Rocket Barrage on the table here. See when he decides to use it.
Look at him staying safe here with those boots as well. Really giving a lot of respect, just trying to make sure they're valuing his life so we can provide that healing to the rest of his team. Bishu getting desuited now, and you can see Big Goose is spreading out from his team a little bit more. Trying to stay safe here, but it might be a struggle. Fleta finds Surefour now. Zunba's hunting. Big Goose here just trying to maintain presence. The Gladiators are in control of the point, but oh dear, now he's getting jumped upon. They need to clear him out, and LA's Big Goose is cooked. It's going to be Seoul in control of the point comfortably enough. But Remix, nicely done. Desuit finish, but he's going to be beset on all sides. Eventually tranquilized, off to the zoo you go. Seoul in control.
That was a pretty sick play by Kuki on the Winston. So you actually saw Big Goose firing up at Fleta in the sky, and he jumps right on top of Big Goose and puts his Winston bubble down so he can't get any damage down onto Fleta as he's using that rocket barrage.
This is scary. Oh! First shot was splash damage, Matt, and then the rest. Fleta is frightening with this. Look how he flicks just to correct his aim as well at that last moment. He wants more of Surefour. He's happy that he got resurrected. He wants to go another couple rounds. First rocket connects and now the sound barrier. Surefour just maybe thinking twice. Self-preservation instincts kicking in here, perhaps.
And he hit a shot on the Shaz, but the sound barrier keeps Shaz up a little bit. Fleta really wants this 1v1 battle with Surf, where you see Kuki just using the primary range, knocking him far away. Oh, connects with one onto Shaz. Jaehong finishes him off using the Valkyrie.
Yes.
Another direct hit coming out of Fleta onto Surfor.
You've got some of the best Overwatch on display right now. There's no doubt about it. Fleta is just coming alive. It's a mercurial performance here from this man, the Swiss Army knife, the jack of all trades. Use whatever analogy you want, but it's simple as that. Seoul, another dominant map taken. And now we get to see the masterclass, the bonus level, man, if you will. And Seoul are demonstrating it in a big way. The Gladiators have the components. I think it's clear to see that.
Yes.
And we had a great opening from Asher on this particular map. But again, it was inexorable. It's almost like a tidal wave crashing down, and eventually Fleta started to find his flow.
And Surfor played a pretty good far on that map, just not good enough. Fleta was just unreal. So